Greetings YouTubers, and welcome back to another Toddy Walnuts collection overview video. And today we're going to go through the Blue Underground collection for 2025. This will be the last video of this particular label for this year. And for a couple reasons I do this. I like to kind of take inventory of the movies I have from their catalog, and also to give you guys some suggestions for movies to pick up, and also for you to give me some suggestions. So if you guys are interested in checking out my Blue Underground collection, this is going to be probably like a medium length video, medium to long. I would be thrilled if you stick around to watch. So get yourselves relaxed, get a beverage and a snack, and let's go through the Blue Underground collection of Blu-rays, DVDs, and box sets. So I believe for the most part, these are in alphabetical order, but again, there may be one or two out of place. So starting with numbers and then going A through Z, the first one is a Jess Franco movie called 99 Women Behind Bars Without Men, 3-disc limited edition. Includes the notorious French version. This also has a CD soundtrack. The movie came out in 1968. You can see the bonus features there if you want to pause it. Hold on, I'm going to try to get that glare off of here. I'm going to try to play around with the lights here. Give me 1 second. Well, I don't think that's much better, but if I keep the angle kind of low like this, it may work. We'll see. The next one is called 1990, The Bronx Warriors. Post-apocalyptic type movie from Enzo Castellari. Fun movie. Amsterdam, I really enjoy this movie. It's a pretty good slasher movie. There's a couple of good chase scenes in the water canal way, kind of running through the town. There's like a, what do you call it? Kind of like channels or canals that go through the city, and there's a nice boat chase. It's really good. This one came out in 1988. Pretty cool killer too. He wears like a scuba diving kind of outfit thing. Next one's called Bad Boy Bubby. I think this one's kind of rare. Dario Argento's The Bird with the Crystal Plumage on Blu-ray. So I'm going to go through all my Blu-rays first. I have the Blu-rays and 4Ks together, and then we'll go through the DVDs at the end. Next one is called A Bullet for the General, 2-disc special edition, spaghetti western, starring John Maria Volante and Klaus Kinski. It's pretty good. And here is Compañeros, starring Franco Nero and Tomas Milian, Sergio Corbucci movie. This is a good movie. Jack Palance is also in it. Here's the original The Crazies from George A. Romero. Kind of a virus that spreads and turns people into like zombie type characters. Pretty fun movie. There was a remake that was really good too. There's another Argento movie called The Cat O' Nine Tails. Carl Malden is in that one. There's a double feature of Circus of Fear and 5 Golden Dragons. Here's Fulci's City of the Living Dead. Another double feature. The Blood of Fu Manchu and The Castle of Fu Manchu, starring Christopher Lee. Those are pretty fun movies. Here's a Dario Argento 3-pack. You get the Cat O' Nine Tails Deep Red and Inferno. They each come on their own disc on a swing tray. That's pretty nice little set there. Here is the 4K Daughters of Darkness. Comes with a lenticular cover. You get a 4K and a Blu-ray and a CD soundtrack. So it's a 3-disc set. If you want to pause that and you can read it. This movie came out in, it doesn't say. I'm gonna guess the late 60s, maybe early 70s. There's another zombie movie called Dead and Buried. This is a pretty creepy movie. There's a group of people living on an island. From what I remember, it's been a long time since I saw this, but there's a tourist traveling to the island, and these people are just lunatics. And there's some really suspicious stuff going on this island, and they don't want word getting out. It was a pretty cool, pretty suspenseful horror movie. This is the upgrade of it. The same movie, just the 4K with the lenticular cover here of the, there's a scene where they burn a guy alive and it turns into, I don't know if you're picking that up. It's a pretty cool lenticular cover, but it's hard to get the right angle here for you guys. And then there was also another lenticular cover. Again, it's the same movie. This is the needle to the eyeball scene from the movie. Again, it's not really picking it up, but this is a really cool lenticular cover. And those come with a 4K, a Blu-ray, and a CD soundtrack. The next one is called Death Dream. It's a Blu-ray DVD combo pack. Donald Pleasance and Christopher Lee in Deathline, Blu-ray DVD, collector's edition. I may pop that in tonight again and give it another watch. That's a good one. Dario Argento's Deep Red, one of his best. Really, really good giallo slasher movie. I like it. Here's a spaghetti western starring Tomas Milian, Django Kill, If You Live, Shoot, from the 60s. I'm gonna guess 68. 67. Right there in the middle. Not much in the way of bonus features, but you do get this movie on a good quality transfer. Here's the original OG Django, starring the greatest Django ever. The only, in my opinion, the best only Django is Franco Nero. This is really good. If you haven't seen it, check it out. There's a movie called Down, and there was also, I think this is the remake. The first one was called The Lift, and they were both directed by Dick Maas. And then this was the remake, if I remember correctly. I think this is the remake. I'll show you The Lift when we get to it. Here's part of the Bronx Warriors trilogy. This is Escape from the Bronx. These are pretty fun action movies, post-apoc type movies. Here's Eugenie, another Jess Franco movie, 3-disc limited edition. And I gotta be careful because there's some stuff on here we can't be looking at here on YouTube. But I just wanted to show you the bonus features. You get a collectible booklet and a bonus CD soundtrack. So let's just put that back up before we get in trouble. Here's another James Ferrantino movie, The Final Countdown. So the next one is some animated fantasy, sword and sorcery type movie. These are really great. This is Fire and Ice. It's a Ralph Bakshi movie. I think it's from the very early 80s. I'm gonna say like 82 it says here, right there in the bottom corner. Really, really cool stuff. I enjoy that. There's another spaghetti western called Get Mean. It's a 2-disc. It's a Blu-ray DVD combo starring Tony Anthony. Check out that gun. Here's one that takes place in gritty kind of New York City in the 70s. God Told Me To. A lunatic killing people. And here's the 4K and Blu-ray collector's edition with the slipcover. There's a double feature called Hell of the Living Dead and Rats, Night of Terror. Dario Argento's Inferno. Another Jess Franco movie. This one's called Marquis de Sade's Justine. It's a 3-disc set. You get a Blu-ray, DVD, and a CD soundtrack. Here's a Killer's thriller collection. You get 3 movies. Baba Yaga. It's like a witchcraft type movie. That's pretty fun. Night Train Murders and What Have They... Oh, Strip Nude for Your Killer. It's not What Have They Done to Your Daughters. These are both... these last 2 are pretty good slashers. That's more of a witchcraft type movie. But this is a nice little set here. Here's The Lift. We were talking about this one earlier. The Living Dead at the Manchester Morgue, also known as Let Sleeping Corpses Lie. This is a really good one. British zombie movie. The House by the Cemetery, Fulci. Here's the 4K upgrade. You get a 4K for the movie and a Blu-ray for the special features. Really nice cover. And here was the 3-disc collector's edition with the lenticular cover, and the cover doesn't really change the image. It just shows kind of a 3D depth. And this is a 3-disc set because you get the CD soundtrack on this one as well. Collectible booklet and 2 Blu-rays and a CD soundtrack. This is a really nice set, nice and thick. Next one is kind of Nazi exploitation, Love Camp 7, 2-disc original uncensored version, Blu-ray DVD combo. There's a Fulci 3-pack. You get City of the Living Dead, The House by the Cemetery, and The New York Ripper. 3 excellent movies from one of the best to ever do it. Next one is Man, Pride, and Vengeance, a Franco Nero movie. Also one of the best to ever do it, Franco Nero. Here's Fulci's Manhattan Baby. It's a 3-disc limited edition set. You get a Blu-ray, DVD, and a compact disc, CD soundtrack. Here's another gritty, kind of a grimy, you feel like you need a shower when you're done watching this one. It's pretty gross, but it's a good movie, and Joe Spinell was a great psychopath in this movie. This is Maniac, William Lustig, who was the owner of Blue Underground, by the way. Here is the 3-disc limited edition, also the same movie. It's the Blu-ray, let me see, it has, I think it's 2 Blu-rays and a CD soundtrack. And here's the 4K upgrade. You get a 4K and a Blu-ray. And 2 more on this shelf. We have Maniac Cop 2, it's a Blu-ray DVD combo. And we get the fat pack here. This is the 4K upgrade. You get the 4K and Blu-ray. So that is the end of shelf 1. Okay, let's get in here. The next one is the Blu-ray DVD combo collector's edition of Maniac Cop 3, which includes the unrated version of the movie. These are pretty fun movies. Popcorn movies, you don't have to do a lot of thinking. And here's the 4K upgrade 4K and Blu-ray. Also the unrated version. And the next one's called The Nesting, and Vinegar Syndrome just recently released this on, I believe, 4K, which I will be getting at some point. This one came out in 1980. I wish it would focus. I want to show you that kind of that haunted house in the background. Pretty cool image. The next one is part of the Escape from the Bronx trilogy. This is actually part 3 in that trilogy. This is the Blu-ray DVD combo pack collector's edition of the New Barbarians, and this is the order that they went in here, in case you're curious. I'm sure most of you know already. So this was the first one, 1990, The Bronx Warriors, followed by the Escape from the Bronx, and then the New Barbarians. All three are very good. I recommend them. They're fun. Popcorn movies. I have a couple of the New York Ripper movies. This was the first Blu-ray release of it. I really like this movie a lot. And then there was a Blu-ray DVD combo that came in this gorgeous lenticular slipcover with a 4K restoration. And again, you get a CD soundtrack, which is really, really great. Nice little collectible piece. And then the third one is the 4K upgrade. You get a 4K and a Blu-ray. Movie came out in 1982, and it has some pretty good bonus features here if you want to pause, check that out. Here's another good one that kind of flies under the radar for a lot of people, but if you haven't seen The Prowler, check it out. It's a good slasher movie. I have to upgrade this to 4K. This movie came out in 1981. Again, it doesn't have much in the way of special features, but has a really nice transfer. Next one is called Shock Waves. Nice little zombie movie about World War II, if I'm not mistaken. It is, and it has a really great cast. You get Peter Cushing, John Carradine, who else? Brooke Adams. I thought Christopher Lee was in there, but I don't see his name. There's another good slasher movie called Stage Fright. I really like this one a lot. Another Argento movie here called The Stendhal Syndrome, starring his daughter Asia Argento. And then here's the upgrade of it. This is the 3-disc limited edition, which comes with a Blu-ray, a DVD, and I don't think this one had a CD soundtrack. Is it 3 discs? It says here at the top 3 discs limited, and on the back it's only showing 2 discs. I'm going to open this one up really quick and see what's on the 3rd disc. I'll be right back. Okay, so I opened it up and I'm still not sure, and I'll show you what I mean. Maybe you can help me make sense of this. I've never popped this one in, but the 3rd disc is called 2007 Featurettes. That must be a bonus materials disc on DVD, and then you have the Blu-ray there on top and another DVD on the bottom. Very weird. It doesn't make any mention on the back of what that disc is. And then it comes with this really nice booklet. And I suppose I should show you the slipcover. I don't know if you're going to be able to pick it up, but it's embossed. Like the shards of glass are kind of like pushing out, I guess. But a really, really nice edition. That's Stendhal Syndrome. Okay, so we are at Torso. This is another kind of a gritty slasher giallo movie starring Susie Kendall. It's a Sergio Martino movie. It's really good. I like it. And the next one is Dennis Donnelly's The Toolbox Murders, another kind of an underrated movie, kind of gritty. Not the greatest slasher I ever saw, but I still had fun with it. Then I have a couple of editions of Two Evil Eyes, a collaboration between George A. Romero and Dario Argento. They both made a 1-hour movie, and this is another fun one. This was the first Blu-ray release of it, and then they re-released it on Blu-ray as a 3-disc limited edition. It came with a Blu-ray, DVD, and a compact disc CD soundtrack. It's actually 2 Blu-rays and a CD soundtrack. A really nice edition. Comes with a lenticular cover, kind of a pendulum swinging or whatever that is. A pocket watch, I think it was, from the movie. And then here's the 4K upgrade. Really, really nice. Another fun slasher from the 80s, Uncle Sam. Looking at that cover, you would think it's a comedy horror, but it's a pretty brutal slasher movie. And then here's the 4K upgrade, the lenticular Uncle Sam. That's really nice. And we have a movie called Venom. This is a Blu-ray DVD combo pack. They're calling it a collector's edition. Oliver Reed is in here, one of my favorites. Also has Klaus Kinski, Susan George. It's a pretty awesome cast, not to mention Sterling Hayden, who has top billing in here. This one came out in 1981. And then I got a bunch of the zombie movies. This is the 2-disc Ultimate Edition on Blu-ray. This was the first Blu-ray that they released. Of course, this is Fulci's masterpiece. And then there were some collectible lenticular covers, 3-disc limited edition that came with, I think it's 2 Blu-rays and a CD soundtrack. And this is the zombies crossing the bridge. This is the worm face, they call this guy. Probably one of the coolest parts of the movie when this zombie rises from the earth. It's a great cover. And this one was probably the most popular one. I think this one sold out quick. This is Splinter Eye. Of course, that's another very memorable scene from the movie. And then there was a 4K upgrade, 4K Blu-ray. So now I'm gonna go get something to drink and we'll get into the DVDs. Don't go away. So this first one here, since it's a double pack, I didn't really put it in alphabetical order, but this one has kind of a collectible piece. It's still sealed. It was called the Zombie Soldiers Twofer. At one point, you can get these 2 for the price of 1. It was a limited availability. These are collector's pieces now. But this one had Uncle Sam and Death Dream in it. Nice little 2-pack. There were other ones too, but I just stick that there for now. And then we'll get into the A's. Here, this is Autopsy. Bear Behind Bars. No, I'm not a pervert. I just wanted to put it in the collection. But I think that's what a pervert would say, right? A pervert would tell you they're not a pervert. You be the judge. The next one's called The Big Racket. Poliziotteschi, Enzo G. Castellari movie. Here is Argento's The Bird with the Crystal Plumage. It was hard to track this one down with the slipcover, especially in good condition too, which this is in really, really good condition. That slipcover is harder and harder to find now. The Black Belly of the Tarantula. How about that for a title? Barbara Bach is in here. Barbara Boucher. Wow. Couple of cuties. There's Barbara Boucher right there, the blonde. And then there's Barbara Bach right there, the brunette on the right. Gorgeous ladies. Here's Lamberto Bava's A Blade in the Dark. Case of the Bloody Iris. Edwidge Fenwick is in this one. She's great. Here's The Bloody Judge, directed by Jess Franco, starring Christopher Lee. Look at him in that powdered wig. How do you like that? Here is The Blood-Spattered Bride. Jeez Louise. The Bloodstained Shadow. Cannibal Man. The Cat O' Nine Tails. And no, I'm not going to sing Cecilia, although that is a great song. Here's Contamination. Here's The Crazies. The Church. City of the Living Dead, great cover. And the last one for this shelf is Contraband. Different type of a movie for Fulci, kind of a Euro crime type movie. Palazzo Teschi. All right, we slide down one shelf. This is the last shelf, and then I have a couple of little miscellaneous things I'll show you guys at the end. But the first one here is Conquest. It's another Fulci movie. He tried his hand at kind of a sword and sorcery fantasy type movie. I think they're the same. One was a re-release, I think. Next one's called Daughters of Darkness. Dead and Buried. This one was limited. I think it was 10,000. I got number 4214. And this is a really cool cover. This one's kind of rare. This is deep red. There was a couple different covers for this movie. This one was a little bit harder to find. Here's Delirium. Don't Torture a Duckling. This movie's awesome. The Fifth Chord, starring Franco Nero. Fire and Ice DVD, 2-disc set with the lenticular cover. The Forbidden Photos of a Lady Above Suspicion. How do you like that title? It's a mouthful. The Heroin Busters. How to Kill a Judge, Franco Nero. Special edition of Inferno. And this is another release of it, a later release. Same movie, just two different covers. Here's The Killing Hour. This one's called La Scorta. The Escorts. Living Dead at Manchester Morgue. This is another slipcover that's really, really hard to find, especially in good shape. It's getting harder and harder to find that one. All right, keep moving here. This is called Macabre, Lamberto Bava. Mad Dog Killer, starring Helmut Berger. Manhattan Baby. Maniac, another hard to find slipcover. This one is called Menage, A Man Called Blade, starring Maurizio Merli. Ursula Andress, Mountain of the Cannibal God. I think she was the very first Bond girl, if I'm not mistaken. I remember hearing that somewhere. Or one of the earliest, maybe the earliest. Here's Lindsay's Nightmare City. Night Train Murders, creepy movie. You need a shower when you're done watching that one. The Prowler. The Pajama Girl Case. Here is Q, the Winged Serpent. I think one was a re-release. I don't remember. It's the same movie, just one was a re-release. Here's Rats, Night of Terror. Oliver Reed, Revolver. Seven Deaths in the Cat's Eye. What a title, man. They really came up with some great titles. Great titles and great covers to draw you in. Here's Mario Bava's Shock. Great movie. Starring Daria Nicolodi, who was Dario Argento's wife and Asia Argento's mother. Here's Shock Waves. There was two different editions. This was called The Deep End of Horror, and this was the special edition. I think this one came out second. This was released in 2014 by Blue Underground. The movie came out in 1976. This one was released in 2003. So a good 11 years sooner than that second one. Okay, where were we here? Another great title, Short Night of Glass Dolls. And this is actually a fun movie. It's a good movie. This one came out in 1971. I have to be careful what I show. Now these next two are the same movie, just two different editions of it. It's called, you're not supposed to say this word on YouTube, but this is Snuff. And they made it look like it's a paper bag, kind of like a bootleg of actual events when there's really, it was limited to, I don't know what it was limited to, but I got number 5976. And this one, I don't know when it was released either, but this was the second edition of it, I believe. This one came out in 2013. This one probably came out around 2001, 2002, if I had to guess. Because I bought that at Best Buy years ago, maybe 2003. The movie's not very good. And the next one is Stage Fright. This is the special edition. Here is the Stendhal Syndrome, and again, this is a really hard slipcover to find. This thing is in perfect mint condition. There's another Franco Nero movie called Street Law. Also has Barbara Bach. You can't go wrong with either one of those two, and it's an Enzo Castellari movie. Why wouldn't you watch that? Next one's called Strip Nude for Your Killer. This is the Toolbox Murders, 1977, that came out. Then we got a couple editions of Torso. I think one was cut. This was, I think the one on the left is cut by like a minute or two, something like that. And then this is the uncensored English version. Let me see if I can find, so this was 92 minutes running time. And the movie came out in 1973. And it says this one's 90 minutes, so this one's a little bit shorter, actually. The one in red is longer, 3 minutes longer. I think that's the Italian version, and that's the English version. And then the last one for this shelf, I still have a little bit more to show you. This is Two Evil Eyes on DVD. This one was limited again, but I don't know what it was limited to. I got number 17107. This is a 2-disc set. So I got a couple more DVDs here, and then I got a couple of box sets, and we'll wrap this up. So the next one is called Vampires. Jose Ramon Larraz from 1974. And Venom. There's a Charles Bronson movie called Violent City. Also has Telly Savalas and his wife, Jill Ireland. There she is right there. He loved having his wife in his movies. Eastwood was like that too with Sandra Locke, even though they were kind of, I guess, common law. They weren't really married, but anyway, here's Who Saw Her Die? And the last DVD is Zombie. Now there are other editions of the Zombie DVD, but they were put out by Anchor Bay. This is the only one that was put out by Blue Underground. And I have a box set for the Blind Dead collection, and this is a really cool set. And I love these movies, even though they're not very good. I enjoy them though. This is Tombs of the Blind Dead, Return of the Evil Dead, no relation to Evil Dead. The Ghost Galleon, I think that may be one of my favorite ones, just because of the atmosphere and the creaky ship that they're in. The old-timey kind of galleon, old, like pirate ship type thing. And Night of the Seagulls. Let's see if I can pop this top. Let's see if I can pull these out. It also comes with some bonus goodies. I'll show those in a minute. But here is Tombs of the Blind Dead. Look at that cover, man. That is just gorgeous. Here's Return of the Evil Dead. The blind Knight Templars are really cool. Even though they're kind of slow and shuffly, and you know, they kind of shuffle their feet and they're just kind of almost falling apart. They're very intimidating. This is the Ghost Galleon. This is the one I really enjoy this one. Even though it's probably one of the lower ranked, I just like the atmosphere in that one. And then here's Night of the Seagulls. This was limited. I think it was, I don't know, 10,000. Comes with this really thick book called Nights of Terror. If you didn't buy this, grab it. This is really cool. A really nice set. When it first came out, I think it was like 120, 130 bucks, but you can probably find this a lot cheaper now. I've had this for many, many years. And then it comes with a bonus disc in this little kind of a slim pack, the Armando de Osorio director DVD. I think it's a documentary about his life. The Last Templar documentary on writer-director Armando de Osorio. Unearthing the Blind Dead interview with Osorio. And Farewell to Spain's Night of Horror, which is a DVD-ROM. So I really recommend this, and I love this set. It's really cool. Wasn't quick enough. There we go. And the last thing for this video is the Spaghetti Western Collection box set. This thing is in really nice condition. You get Menage, A Man Called Blade, Run Man Run, Django Kill, and Django. I'll pull them out. You can look at the covers. Or actually, they're right here. I'll still pull them out though, but these are fun, gritty spaghetti westerns. And let me see if I can pull these out without making a lot of noise. Here's Menage, A Man Called Blade. The great Maurizio Merli, he was really great. And then Tomas Milian is in Run Man Run. He was really great too. You'll see both of those gentlemen in a lot of spaghetti westerns. Here's Tomas Milian again, Django Kill. And one of my favorites of all time, Franco Nero. So that was it for my Blue Underground video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope I gave you some suggestions. Thank you very much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Celia, you're breaking my heart. You're shaking my confidence daily. Oh, Cecilia, I'm down on my knees. I'm begging you please to come home. Come on home.